Hello everybody, welcome to MJX Movies. Today I'll be acting the film The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo from 2011, directed by David Fincher, an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Stieg Larsson. In this movie, journalist Mikael Blomkvist loses a libel suit against industrialist Hans-Erik Wennerstrom. A separate industrialist, Henrik Wanger, offers him information which will corroborate the libel suit he just lost. All he has to do is figure out the murder of the industrialist's grandniece, who disappeared 40 years prior. At the same time, an investigator of sorts, who's on government aid, is investigating Mikhail. Her government aid administrator has a stroke, thus landing her a new government administrator, who is not a nice guy. He proposes that in return for not questioning her financial requests, she has to offer him sexual services. Eventually, the investigator, our other star, our other hero of this movie, Lisbeth Salander, turns the tables on him, attacks him, and renders him under her service instead. She then eventually joins up, about an hour into the movie, with the main character, Mikhail. They further investigate the disappearance of Harriet, the grandniece, discover there's other murders, and that, in fact, there was a serial killer of sorts. It was the nephew of Henrik Wanger, Gottfried, or the father of Harriet. And it turns out that Harriet had been the one responsible for murdering Gottfried, causing Gottfried to drown while drunk in the water that surrounds the family island. But his son Martin had taken up the serial killing mantle and was serial killing. Mikhail falls into the clutches of Martin. Lisbeth eventually frees him, let's say, and then Martin actually dies of his own incompetence. He crashes his car. Then we find out that Harriet is in fact still alive. She assumed the identity of her sister. And she is ultimately reunited with Henrik, bringing him great joy and ending the madness that had wrought him for so many years. And then at the very end of the movie, the relationship that had developed between Lisbeth and Mikhail, that Lisbeth thought was going to continue on, just not, because Mikhail is a bit of a cad and is still in a relationship, which is also an affair, with his editor at the journalist Dick Endeavor that he works for. So, all that being said, and there's a lot of plot there to have covered. This movie stars Daniel Craig as Mikhail. We've got Rooney Mara as Lisbeth. And then we've got ourselves Stellan Skarsgård as Martin, with a bunch of other people, and Christopher Plummer, for instance. Joel Kinnaman for a minute. Robin Wright as the editor. Okay, so Fincher movie looks great. Let's get that one right out of the way. Also, this is a collaboration, once again, musically between Trent Ross, Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. They should call themselves Trent Ross. That'd be a good name. So the score I thought was pretty cool. It was a good industrial EDM type score. The opening title sequence for this is a rock montage. Or, well, not a rock montage. Anyways, there's an opening title sequence for this, which is a CGI sort of visual depiction, kind of Bond-esque. I don't really think the film needed it, but it was cool. Another thing the film didn't need was the sort of two separate plots going on at the same time structure. So, in the movie, Lisbeth and Mikhail don't meet up for about an hour into the movie. And that's because we have to let Lisbeth's initial plot kind of run its course. I don't think the government aid administrator plot really added to the movie. I mean, it added in the sense that it helped flesh out or round out the character of Lisbeth, but I don't think it was ultimately in service of the movie. I think you could have done away with it or had that maybe be a scene and a half, not the mini arc that it was. I love the snow in this. Even the digital snow I thought looked pretty good. The performances, I would say, are all good, although the accents are all over the map. Some people are using the normal accent. Some people are trying to do a Swedish accent. So, hit or miss with that one overall. And then the final act of this movie. By the way, also another thing I should add in: if you are somebody who is sensitive to the depiction of animals being hurt, even if it's something that has happened to them after the fact, there is a disturbing scene in this movie which you might want to fast forward through, in which a cat meets an untimely end. Overall, I'd say I do. It's a Fincher movie. I enjoyed it greatly, but there are a lot of problems with it. So this is probably in the lower tier of Fincher overall. So for me, between yay and in between, this is a definite yay, but. Maybe you are one of the other Nordic countries that has a rivalry with Sweden and you don't want to watch this one. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Cheers.